In every car build, there's always those tedious tasks. Doesn't matter what you're working on, but there's always going to be something you don't want to do. Today, it's that day. We're yanking out this dash to finally get ready to start prepping for a roll cage.
Built with soul, not just steel.
You know, it might not seem like much, but really every bolt, every bracket helps build the dream. So while this might be tedious, this is one step closer for this vision of this Franken Yoda project becoming a reality. So we're super excited today to bring this to you guys and just kind of dig into it and start getting this yanked out. The reason the dashboard is coming out on this particular project is it's going to be a drift build, and we're going to want some anti-intrusion bars plus some A-pillars and crash bar in the front of the dashboard there. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to just build our own gauge cluster. We're going to probably use one of the EFI tools out there and have a nice gauge cluster with a shaded shield that we're going to make by hand. And then we're going to also have to eventually make the new mounting location for the steering rack itself. So those little tedious things, like getting the whole dashboard out, are just necessities for making forward progress and forward momentum on your projects. All right, so this is what we got. We're going to remove the rest of the center console. We're going to likely eventually remove this parking brake and probably set up the new handbrake for drifting right in this factory location. So we're going to start tearing into this dash. We're going to get rid of the AC box. We're going to get rid of the heater box. This is going to be pretty much a drift only car that I can drive out on the roadways in the spring and summertime. Time you're doing something this intricate, you just want to go one bolt at a time. So it looks like most of this stuff is going to end up being Phillips. So we're just going to remove each bolt one at a time. We're just going to follow them around and get all these pieces removed little by little. So one thing that you can do, which really helps, is take some duct tape here and just label what comes off of what. Like for me, for instance, this is all AC control, heater control. This is radio control. So I'm going to label these using just duct tape, or sorry, painter's masking tape and a Sharpie. And that way I know what I can cut out of the harness that I don't need to keep. I want to keep the factory lights, all the brake lights, everything like that, but I don't want any of the unnecessary ancillary stuff. All right, we're making some good progress now. Got just about all the dash out on these old Celicas. They take a little spanner wrench. I don't have one that small, so just a hammer and a chisel to unlock this nut so we can get the factory headlight switch out. And then this panel will be ready to come off, and we'll keep working, we'll keep digging. You guys are enjoying the builds so far on the channel, whether it be the Celica, the Chevelle, the Willys, any of the projects. We just started a Patreon. Head on over there and check out. That's where we drop raw footage, behind the scenes. We do Q&As. We're going to have a community of like-minded people, fabrication cars, fab shop stuff. So head on over there, check us out. So something to be aware of, if you guys were wanting to keep your dashboards, if you guys are working on whatever project you're working on, when you're getting into something this old, I mean, you can see the dash, it's just cracked, but just about every piece of plastic is brittle or broken. So something to be aware of. You can almost not avoid it. So just take your time. For me, none of this is getting reused. Funny, I was just thinking about how I came across this car. I was working over at a auto tech place here in town while I was doing a reserve deputy position, and this old man came in and he got to talking to me, and he's like, I have this old Toyota in my backyard, and you know, I have no use for it. And I asked him, I'm like, is it like a classic Celica? He goes, I don't know what it is. I've had it for 15, 20 years, and I was just sitting there rotting away. If you want to come pick it up, it's yours. I got the title and everything. And so I remember loading up the trailer and jumping in the truck and heading. It's about 25 minutes away from where I live. And I pull in, and not only was it a Celica, which I was super excited about, but it was the Celica liftback, aka fastback. And that right there, I mean, it just like, my heart just stopped. I was like, how am I getting this car for free? This is fantastic. So I remember loading it up, tires were all flat, and the winch was struggling. I got a little tiny winch on the trailer. It was struggling even to pull up this little light 1,800-pound car. But we get it up on the trailer, I get it home, and man, all the dreams just started from there. I didn't know if I was building a road race car or what. And I've had it for probably 6-7 years now. And about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I had decided, I said, you know what? I've done road racing. I've done that type of build. I've never done a drift build. And while this can still, yes, do road racing, I was like, I'm going to focus on just building an all-around reliable drift car that I can have a lot of fun in. And, you know, then the idea of Franken Yoda came up, which was I want to use as many Toyota or Toyota-like parts as possible to build this car. So hence why we're doing like A86 front clip, front suspension. We have a Gen 1 Supra Celica rear end in this thing. We're going to have a Toyota Lexus V8 in this thing. We're going to have a Supra transmission in this thing. So just parts from Toyotas all over. And I just thought that would be really cool to show you guys how to build something from, I don't want to say junkyard parts, because we are putting in some performance versions of those parts, but how you could go and you could take multiple different year vehicles and make it into one really fun toy. I'm 40 now, and sometimes I think of how many like cool cars I built or have had over the years that just went completely undocumented, you know. Really fun projects, fun cars. And you know, it's like every time you build a car, you leave a little piece of yourself in that car, and you meet a lot of cool people along the way. I mean, I've made a lot of friends from the car community, and that's kind of what we're trying to build on Patreon. And you know, just being there as a brother to one another, I mean, and giving advice, giving tips, you know, all the BS aside, and just kind of like enjoying a passion together. And so that's kind of why I've been documenting as many things as I can now. I know the channel has this car going on, that car going on, that car going on, but it's really just to reach out to more people and to bring you guys content that you guys can sit back, enjoy, and know that it's real content, and it's for our community. Oh man, that was not fun. So there you go. The dash pad is off. The dash pad was glued down, so I had to scrape all that glue. But now we've got the skin of the dash pretty much cleared out. We are going to probably end up getting this airbox out next. AC heater airbox, and then I think what we'll do is we're gonna look at the steering and see what we can leave in. Maybe we can leave that mount in the steering where it holds the steering wheel up, but this kind of stuff will have to be cut. All this sheet metal will come out. So we're gonna have roughly right about where this air intake tube for the air duct tube is likely where our crash bar is gonna go from A pillar to A pillar on the roll cage. So we're trying to think ahead with this. Well, that's it, guys. The dash is officially removed. So it took us roughly, well, we have to film edit as well, like as we're going along. So it took a little longer, but it took us about 3 hours total for everything. So what's really awesome, something I wasn't prepared for, which is great, the steering column is mounted separately to the firewall. So we were able just to cut the sheet metal around. What we'll eventually do is just unbolt it here and then take this scrap piece out because it comes out right there. So, but yeah, we were able to just leave the steering column in place, which is awesome. But here's the overall view. So we got our wires, our necessary wires marked out. We'll probably end up wiring most stuff standalone with its own fuse panel when we do the 1UZ. But so yeah, as you can see, everything is marked, all the stuff we need. We're not using any of this AC stuff, so this whole extra harness can be filleted open and wires can be taken out. Next time, you guys, we get to start mocking up some ideas for the cage. This whole process wasn't flashy, but it was necessary. Hey, if you guys are interested in any of the tools I use in my fabrication shop, head on over to our link tree or our website, jpstreetperformance.com, and check out my garage setup for affiliate links to equipment that I carry in my shop. This is JP Street Performance, where dream cars are built, not bought. From the first cut to the final pass, I'll catch you on the next project.